am Chef Damien O'Rourke at New Zealand Embassy in Tokyo. Today I'm going to show you how to make an apple crumble. I grew up eating apple crumble, a recipe I inherited from my mother, and my mother would have inherited from her mother. And I'm sure many New Zealanders grew up eating apple crumble, the family favourite dessert. Typically it's eaten in the fall or winter months when there are an abundance of apples and they're cheap. And the warm, sort of comforting flavours that the apple crumble delivers really lends itself to eating at that time of the year. So let's get started. Alright, I'm using my peeler so as not to take off too much of the flesh of the apple, but you can use a knife. But you'll see how we go. So I'm just going to start by there. And because this is a tedious process, I like to play a game and try to make one continuous peel of apple. Oh. Right, cut the apples ready. If you're doing a large size apple crumble, and it's okay to have sort of larger pieces of apple for texture. But to make individual apple crumbles, it's better to have smaller dices of apple. So that's in the ramekin. Right, so cutting the apples. This is how I cut apples. There's no right or wrong way to cut them really, but I want kind of small dices so they cook evenly. And as long as they're all about the same size roughly, the cooking time will be the same for the apples. I'm going to add about a quarter of a cup of white sugar, soft white sugar. You might want to taste your apple first. If it's a sour apple, then you might need a bit more sugar. So just mix the sugar through the apples, like so, and it'll start to dissolve the sugar a little bit before putting them in the pot. Okay, just mix that through. I'm going to add some clove spice. Probably about one or two cloves per apple, maybe 1 clove per apple. That's 4 apples, 4 cloves, and 2 more for good luck. Right, there we go. I like cloves in apples. I'm going to add some apple juice for a bit of extra apple flavour. Could add a splash of water as well. It just helps the apples to start cooking properly, but they won't get stuck to the bottom of the saucepan. So I'm going to add about a quarter of a cup of apple juice. There we go. And a stick of cinnamon. There we go. And then we're going to transfer this. Pretty sure it's not enough apples. On medium heat. And until the apples start bubbling, and then we'll turn the heat down a little bit. A bit of water so it evaporates. And I'm going to check this every 10 minutes or so, every 5-10 minutes. Give it a little stir, see how the apples are cooking, and make sure it's sticky to the bottom of the saucepan. I'm going to make the crumble topping. 3/4 cups to our bowl. To our rolled oats, we're going to add half a cup of soft brown sugar. Now we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of plain flour. I'm going to sift this into the mixture. Now we're going to add half a teaspoon ground cinnamon to our mixture. And just mix everything up gently, just to even it all out. Make sure there are no lumps of brown sugar. There's this one right there. It's quite hard. And we're going to rub our unsalted butter
into this mixture with our fingers, or you can use a mixer or food processor, but we want to combine the butter and the flour and the oats and the sugar so that there are no visible chunks of butter. Did I say 1 centimeter cubes? I did. Okay. So, firstly, I like to just coat the cubes of butter and just get them a little bit crushed into the mixture. You can use your hands for this. We want to work this until it resembles a sort of a coarse texture with no visible signs of butter. We just want to lightly rub the butter into the ingredients, trying not to warm the butter too much to make it all soft and hard to handle. Cold butter works quite well, it just takes a little longer to work through. As the butter softens, it does start to get a bit messy, so I would suggest pausing and maybe using an implement. Now we're going to add roughly 1 cup of unsalted macadamia nuts that have been roughly chopped. You don't want them too fine, you want some nice chunks in our crumble topping. So that we have a generous quantity of macadamia nuts in our crumble, I'm going to add crumble mixture to the nuts so that we can control the ratio, and the remaining crumble mixture will freeze nicely in a sealed container and will last in the freezer for 6 months, 12 months, until next season's apples become available. Make sure that the nuts are evenly distributed in our crumble mixture before we put on top of the apples. So we want to let the apples cool down really a little bit before we assemble our apple crumble. I even find that it benefits from a day or two in the refrigerator for the flavour to develop some more, especially if you have a cinnamon stick in the mixture, and then flavour will really combine with the apples. Put this into a bowl. Feel free to taste it, of course. And if you think that it's lacking in sweetness, then you can add a bit more sugar. Or if you like a bit of sourness, you can add some lemon juice. And after this is cooled down, we're going to assemble our individual. It's important to leave enough space at the top of the ramekin for the crumble. But you want around 3 to 4 centimeters at least depth of apple. When spooning out your apple filling, avoid any pieces of clove or cinnamon that might have ended up in the apple. They're not very nice to chew on. And be sure to get some, be generous with the macadamia nuts. And I'll start from the back here. And we want to cover the whole surface of the ramekin with lips. I'm going to cook these in a water bath, and that way it'll prevent the apple filling from overheating and bubbling out before the crumble topping has nicely browned. So I'm going to add just hot tap water into our tray, and then we're going to carefully put that into the oven, set at 160 degrees Celsius. I expect it's going to take around 20 to 30 minutes, but I'll check it every now and then. Carefully pour in our hot water to reach about 2/3 of the way up the side of the ramekin, and then we're going to carefully transport that to our oven. Hopefully we don't drop it. I'm going to start the timer for 10 minutes and check it after 10 minutes, and I might even rotate the tray just for even browning of the crumbles. time to test our apple crumble. Smells fantastic. Mmm. Red. Ice cream. Oh, that's delicious. Happy cooking.